Let's go ahead and place a new button inside the scene. And with this one, we're going to go ahead and take a look at how we can actually use it for the input side of it. So if you click on the little button right here with the two wires going out, these are going to be your events. By default, the button is usually set to the button is normal state. The button normal state just meaning when you click it, it's just going to click down, come back up. You have a button is active state, meaning that by default when it's working with it, it's going to start off as an active element. You can have deactive, disabled, and then active at start, meaning it'll actually, whatever it's connected to for the event, it'll actually push that active state out towards it. Alright, so we have a few different states that the button can be in. The other option here is we have a button input. When you click on the button, so we're going to take the button on the input up. You have input on the up, on the down, hold, hover, tap, drag, swipe, long press, and none. So if you wanted to actually have certain states, like you only want it to activate when it's on the long press, then you could have it where it's the long press only on the activator. So we'll do most of the button states currently are being checked either on the on up or on down. So if you start playing with this and you don't get the event that you're looking for, there's a good chance that it's just not connected up all the way through for everything. Alright, so we also have the button action. Button action is going to be the action that gets taken by the button. So for instance, we can have a normal state, which is what it currently does, going down and up. We can have that it toggles, and the toggle state means that it's either going to toggle on the activate or toggle on deactivate, or you can set it to only one or the other. Alright, and then the other type is the receiver. So the receiver is going to be, if we use that receiver object, the brush, it's going to be telling the other thing something to do. So for instance, the current one is just to say turn on or turn off. And you can also do a toggle, so every time you click it, it'll just toggle it on and off for you. So let's go ahead and set up one of those now that we've looked at it here. We'll take the button is, let's go ahead and say the button is going to be active to start with. We'll say the event happens on a on up. The button action is currently on normal, but let's go ahead and do the toggle so that we'll go from an active to deactive, back and forth type of state. And then on the receiver, let's be sure we set it for a, yeah, we'll go ahead and just do a toggle on this one as well. Alright, so we need a panel inside the scene. Let's go ahead and put a panel right here. Alright, so we'll have our button and we'll have our panel. Okay, so the panel object here, this is just going to be a regular panel object. So on the, let's go to our GUI type right here. GUI type is just saying it's a panel. Alright, so on the GUI button, I'm just going to go to my receiver brush and click on the GUI panel button right here, the GUI panel UI element. Now when we play, what's going to happen is that the button itself, once it comes up, it'll be in the active state, and then we can actually click it, so it's going to be active. You can have the hover state if you have it selected. Now if I turn it off, it actually just takes our panel away for it. And then if I turn it back on, the panel comes back. So very simple in that regard, but it's, in terms of use, you could use it in game if you wanted. Maybe this is actually a blocker and you wanted to be able to turn it on and off this way. The active inactive is two icon images. If you want to have something that shows information, you click on it to have a panel pop up with information on it. You turn it off this way as well. It could reside, if we wanted, maybe it's residing over in the corner and you're actually turning it on and off this way. So a lot of different options for how you can actually use the GUI button, but also just for the basics of a receiver object. The receiver object isn't much more than that, though. It's going to be turning things on and off. The text within this as well will turn on and off with it. Anything extra, though, on it would have to just be set separately. Eventually, it'll just be a whole panel that's like really intelligent and knows exactly what's going on with it. Alright, but that's going to give it the basics for using the GUI button with a receiver. and then having our setup with the button events and how to use those.